All right. I don't do this very often, but it's time. Altcoin season is looking bright. I see the light at the end of the tunnel for cryptocurrency. I see life-changing wealth about to happen. A lot of people are going to get rich, and a lot of people are going to witness other people get rich. I called this back in April before it happened. I am going out on a limb here. I am putting my reputation on the line by saying it's going to happen again. One of the greatest chances to make large amounts of money in small periods of time is about to happen right in front of your eyes. Altcoins are set up for a massive Supercycle altcoin season. It's going to happen. In this video, I will be talking about 10 altcoins that I have already invested in, that I will be dollar cost averaging into, and new altcoins with extremely risky variables, low market cap gems, undervalued altcoins, my top 10 list. I'm going out on a limb here, guys, by making this video at this exact time. So I have to dive deeper than I ever have before in an altcoin video. I am going to be providing you guys with so much overwhelming proof, facts, data. This will be one of the most detailed videos I have ever made about altcoins. And I am not joking. Pay attention, because last time people paid attention, we made a lot of money. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another video, and I'm back in my bag. This is gonna be one of those videos that you take your time, you sit back, relax, get a cup of coffee, take some notes, because I am going to get very deep. This video will be very long, extensive, filled with so many details about my argument for altcoins right now that it's gonna be so easy to understand. I am gonna back up pretty much everything I have been thinking about for the past couple of months. And like I said in the intro, this is the most detailed video I have ever made in my entire life. I'm talking about in all of the existence of all of my YouTube channel, I have not dove this deep. I really believe that the biggest transfer of wealth mankind has ever witnessed before is happening right now. I believe some of the smartest people on earth are migrating into cryptocurrency, and I also believe that others will have to follow. This is a get with it or get left behind situation, and it's all lining up universally 360. It's all lining up for this one specific event right now in the altcoin cycle. Nobody else is talking about this. I can guarantee it. Guys, again, it's going to be very detailed. So if you appreciate the quality of effort that I put into these videos, do me a quick favor and like the video. Share it with your friend that wants to make money in crypto that's been losing consistently over and over. Also, if you guys could appreciate the fact that I'm launching this video while there's a dip, instead of launching the video like everybody else after the altcoins have already popped off, again, do me a favor, share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, turn on post notifications, because this is clearly time sensitive. I talk about money, entrepreneurship, I try to keep things down to earth, and no, none of these coins have paid me, and I know legally I have to disclose if any of the altcoins that I talk about in this video have paid me, and none of them have given me nothing. So this is unbiased. You can hear it in my voice. You can hear it in the passion. I'm going all the way from the top all the way to the bottom level protocol, trickle down economics from the macro environment to Bitcoin to altcoin cycle to specific altcoin cycle to specific categories in the altcoin cycle to specific use cases. Guys, if you haven't learned something in this video, I have done something wrong. Leave a comment below on your favorite altcoin out of the 10. I don't do top 10 altcoin videos, guys. If you've been watching my channel, I don't usually do this. I time it for specific events, and things have been lining up for me, and I'm about to prove that to you right now. So if we come over here, the first thing I told you, I'm gonna go from the top bottom. So I wanna show you some alternative charts on inflation, because this is the big issue, right? This is why cryptocurrencies have been doing so well. It's pretty much because of the purchasing power of fiat currencies and the fact that they have complete control over the monetary supply. I want you guys to think about it. Your money, you work for it like 1/3 of your life. You sleep 1/3 of your life, and you're working at a job for 1/3 of your life, or you're working at a business, or whatever the case is. Think about that. You're encapsulating your time with these dollar bills, and they have the power to inflate or print new dollar bills. They control that mechanism, which makes your savings, the things that you spent all of your time, investing in, trying to get this dollar in your bank account, is losing value. It's really scary. They control your time, basically. What does that sound like? That sounds like modern day slavery. And this is why cryptocurrencies have been doing so well. Even the reported headline inflation numbers, the CPI that the man tells us inflation is high. 6.4% is not a joke, okay? And I believe they're misreporting that. And I'm gonna show you proof right now. I've showed this a couple of times, but if you're new, guys, look, this website basically shows how they used to calculate inflation in 1980 and how they used to calculate it in 1990. And I've talked about this a couple of times, but basically they changed the calculation to help with Social Security liabilities. And this is scary because Social Security used CPI to pay people the correct thing so they could retire, right? And they literally changed this to pay them less so that they don't have this huge burden, and it's scary. And if you look right here in 1980s base, we'd be at 15% inflation. If you leave your $100 in the bank, you lost $15 just to unknown, unseen force called inflation that they don't teach you about anywhere for good reason. And if we look at the 1990 based alternative, you can see inflation's at 10%. I believe the headline CPI is misrepresented. I believe it's 2 to 3 times worse than people are reporting it. And I'm telling you right now, cryptocurrencies will only get stronger once people wisen up. So this is the big catalyst for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a whole. So I told you guys, I'm going from top to bottom. Let's look at Bitcoin. So that's a macro environment. It's definitely set up for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency success. If we look at Bitcoin's price, we just recently had a sell-off. So again, I'm making this video specifically for people that are trying to, buy low, right? And this is not financial advice, but I am personally accumulating a lot of cryptocurrency because of this dip that we recently experienced. So you can see here that we're still kind of on track. We can kind of trade sideways for a while. Maybe Q1 of 2022, Bitcoin gets to its 100K mark, but I'm still very confident that Bitcoin's going to hit 100K eventually. And, that would be like around here, maybe not 100K, but at least 80 to 70K is not out of the question at all. And if that happens, this will obviously make room for all the altcoins, because the whole market is basically catalyzed off the fact that Bitcoin is serving as a hedge against monetary inflation, right? It has the most liquidity, it has the most infrastructure. This is where the big investors typically go. People, it's a household name. People know what Bitcoin is, but not everybody knows what like Cardano is or XRP, right? So when Bitcoin moves, the whole market moves. And, I've been saying this, I don't want to like make this video super long on Bitcoin, but I've been saying this in pretty much all of my videos in recent history. So if you want more specifics, on-chain metrics looks really good. The only reason we have these big drops is because they're manipulating the price of Bitcoin. They do it through basically liquidating people and stop hunts. So it's a very complex topic, but basically right now, you can see that they're denying the Bitcoin spot ETFs. They do it for a reason, because if you really think about it, the whole reason Bitcoin moves is because of its scarcity element. Think about the 4-year cycles, the stock to flow model, right? This is the big thing that moves the whole entire market in 4-year cycles. And it's only because of the decrease in issuance on Bitcoin. The amount of Bitcoin that's printed out every 10 to 15 minutes gets cut in half, and it moves the whole entire market up, right? So this is one of the biggest reasons Bitcoin increases in value. So the reason why they don't want a spot ETF is because they would be taking more Bitcoin off of the market, further catalyzing it and lowering the amount of Bitcoin that's on the market. So the way they're manipulating it now is on centralized exchanges. So they're manipulating it through looking at longs, trying to get them liquidated. And that's how you see this massive 1 day cascading effect. This is the weekly, but you guys know what I'm talking about with these long wicks. So actually, let me just pull up the daily and I'll show you. Yeah, if I come over here, you can see this is manipulation. This is not real. This is a select few actors that are trying to get the price down to specific points. And when it does get down to that specific points, we get liquidations, right? Then we get stop hunts and it brings it down. And what happens is, people realize that Bitcoin's so cheap and, they start buying it up aggressively. This is a sign of weakness. This is a sign of, manipulation. And if we bring it over here, we can see the same thing happening again right here. To be honest with you guys, the big powers in crypto, they don't want to lose, this manipulation factor. So they don't want spot Bitcoin, ETF to happen because on-chain metrics right now are super bullish. If you look at on-chain for Bitcoin, everything is extremely bullish. It's because they don't have that leverage manipulation effect on the open market. They have it on centralized exchanges. So again, I would have, guessed that if they did accept a Bitcoin spot ETF, this would have been bought up, even faster. They would have lost their power of being able to manipulate the market. So, this is all lining up for me. Obviously, there's a lot of theory, but I will say that it's pretty obvious from a person that's been in cryptocurrency for a long time. You can't hide from me. You might be able to manipulate everybody else, but you're not going to hide from someone that's been watching this for very long. They use this liquidation method. They liquidate everyone that's over leveraged. Like, you don't want to over leverage on crypto. I keep telling you guys that. Like, it's already volatile. And they take advantage of people that over leverage. And that brings the price down. And then they buy the bottom for sure. And that's how you get this long wick and this manipulation. So in the short term, we're getting manipulated. But in the long term, Bitcoin's still bullish and it's probably going to hit 80 to 100K. They can't really keep it down. I mean, look at the daily again. I mean, if you look at the wicks, right? This wick was much longer than the last one. So you can see that they're losing that effect. People are wisening up. Okay. So this is really obvious for me. So Bitcoin is looking good. Macro conditions set up for Bitcoin success. Bitcoin itself is looking really good. It's going to make room for the whole entire market. Now, let me jump into something nobody else has ever said on the internet right now. This is my own original research. I do assume that eventually people are going to start copying this because they always do. This happened multiple times. But let's just jump into it because I got to show you guys what the deal is. All right. So I was skeptical about the market. I'm like, all right, let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's look into it, more aggressive. I'm gonna spend more time. This video took me a long time to create. So I want to look at the DXY, which is a US dollar currency index. Okay. So basically this is kind of like, America's stronghold by being the world reserve currency. This shows the power of the US dollar, which is really important because again, it's the world reserve currency. Everybody basically calculates, commodities, their currencies in USD. So if we could look at that, we can kind of piggyback on what happened. So we're looking at kind of like an asymmetrical triangle here on a longer time frame. And we got this pretty aggressive bounce like right around here. And I want you to remember the date. This is May 31st, 2021. So if I bring up this chart here, I want to look at Bitcoin's price in the same period of time. So in the same period of time, from May 31st, 2021 up until today, Bitcoin was up 42.64%. And this is where it gets very interesting. If we continue to look at it, let's look at gold because gold is commonly compared to Bitcoin. So in the same period of time, what happened to gold? Okay, gold is down 6.26%. So that basically shows that when the US dollar increases, right, in value and purchasing power, Bitcoin kind of follows. Gold doesn't. Gold is like almost like a negative. It's almost like it goes the other way, right? So, that's very interesting to note because we are on an uptrend right now with the DXY, right? So it looks pretty good for Bitcoin. I mean, we could get a rejection down here, but this is an asymmetrical triangle and it's coming off of kind of like this bullish jump. So technical indicators say that this should continue to go higher. And it makes sense because although they're inflating or, printing more money, it doesn't matter because in other countries, you guys seen in my other videos, there's double digit inflation. So other countries are going to feel it, the worst of this. The United States, world reserve currency is the last domino. We're going to see other countries, right, have huge inflation, have huge problems, and they might, adopt cryptocurrency first. And the last domino is the top of the pyramid, which is the world reserve currency. So this is actually adding to my case. The value of the US dollar going up is a sign that other countries are probably trying to preserve their wealth in the world reserve currency. And this is a common thing. I'm not making this up. A lot of economists talk about this. So this is also adding to my case. I do believe this is probably going to increase in value, right? And Bitcoin's probably going to follow. And as you can see here, gold's down negative 6.26%. Interesting enough, right? If we look at the S&P 500, which is accumulation of all the stocks and the tech stocks, right? This has gone up 11.95%. And more interesting is that it's at its all-time high. So as an investor, when you're trying to buy into the markets, let's say you have $5 million and you're looking to invest in the next best thing. Do you want to invest in an all-time high? Do you want to buy the top of this very artificial looking chart with corporate buybacks and manipulation? They are literally printing money and then giving a lot of it to banks and big businesses. They're bailing out these banks and big businesses. And this is what's causing the stock market to be overinflated. I'm not the first person to say this. Everybody has basically said that nobody wants to buy that. Like, who wants to buy stocks at all-time high? You want to buy things at a discount that have potential to increase. You want to buy things that have an asymmetrical environment, not something that's way too expensive. No one's going to buy the all-time high. I mean, there are, of course, to make short-term gains. But as a person with a lot of money, billionaires, people with $100 million, $200 million, they're not dumb. They're smarter than that. We need to see organic market. Look at the difference between everything. This looks inorganic. It's just like straight up. It's like a straight up pattern. And we see signs of weakness. We see signs of weakness in the economy. You're not going to see the economy break in the S&P 500. You're going to see it happen in inflation. You're going to see it in the supply chain issues. You're going to see it in the unemployment, all the things happening around the world, double-digit inflation, things like this. You'll see cracks in the economic system. And it just happens to be that the S&P 500 is artificially propped up. So pay attention that this is very interesting. In the same period of time, we have 11.95% increase. And even with all that help, Bitcoin outcompeted it by 30%. So that's very interesting to note there. Even more interesting enough, which adding to kind of all the hype that I was talking about in the intro, Ethereum broke a big barrier, guys. I said this in my video. I have to stress it again. Ethereum just broke a very specific resistance. And we know that when we get these big breakouts, we see altcoins run. We see Ethereum run. I'm calling this way ahead of the curve, guys. I'm telling you right now, I'm like at least 10 steps ahead of what everybody else is talking about. I'm making this prediction right now. The last time I did it, and I'll show you proof of that in this video, when I called the altcoin season in April, nobody will ever be able to deny that. All my videos are up, transparent on YouTube. You can go back test and look at my track record, okay? I called this last time, and I'm going out and putting my reputation and my whole entire business's reputation on the line by saying it's going to happen again. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm passionately speaking for a reason. I'm trying to convince people to pay attention to this altcoin season, okay? Please, ETH BTC just broke out. When we're looking at this chart in simple terms, when this goes up, Ethereum is doing better than Bitcoin. When this chart goes down, Bitcoin is doing better than Ethereum. So these are like the clash of the two biggest narratives in crypto. The two biggest reasons why people buy cryptocurrencies. Number one, hedge against monetary inflation. And number two, the utility of the blockchain going into every other economic system on planet Earth. These are the two biggest narratives. And right now, the narrative that is winning is the utility narrative, which will open a gateway for all other altcoins, guys. Pay attention. I'm gonna give you further proof, okay? So if we look at the top 100 altcoins versus Bitcoin dominance, well, guess what? Technicals are saying this should break out. A, B, C, breakout. This should break out, guys. I mean, this is like a leading indicator here. Ethereum just broke out an all-time high when it comes to Bitcoin dominance. This is a leading indicator. This will confirm that for me. It doesn't need to break out right now. Technical patterns are saying it will. This is a very bullish situation. This will be a continuation pattern. We're gonna see probably a breakout. And if we don't, it doesn't matter because it'll just prolong my thought and eventually we'll break out. But I think right now is the time, to be honest. I think it's never been a better time. It's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks. I'm calling this very far ahead, maybe weeks to a month. but just pay attention to what's going on. And also, I've been basically talking about this a lot. Ethereum's price looks resilient. Bitcoin's dropping 13%. Ethereum's not. They have this burning mechanism that's been basically decreasing the issuance the same way Bitcoin has the halving mechanism. And it's supposed to be equivalent to like 10 halvings, or I forgot the exact number. It's supposed to be equivalent to way more halvings. And this negative issuance on Ethereum that happens every, couple of days, literally there's Ethereum being taken off the market, guys. I want you to think about that. So this same effect that they dropped into Ethereum that's so powerful, is keeping the price of Ethereum up. The utility and its burning mechanism is keeping the price of Ethereum up in comparison to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's losing dominance, which is huge. And I don't want to, understate this. This is like one of the biggest things that's happening right now. Forget what everybody else is talking about. This is one of the biggest things that's happening. Now, I want to give you the vibes, right? I want you to understand how big this is and how the opportunity to make money is one of the greatest you'll ever experience in your life in the next couple of months, okay? I want to show you. So if we look at the top 100 altcoins versus Bitcoin dominance, basically what this is aggregating is the top 100 altcoins and compared to Bitcoin. Okay, so if this chart goes up, that means the top 100, including Ethereum, by the way, the top 100 is doing better than Bitcoin. When this chart goes down, Bitcoin is doing better than the top 100 by percentage gains. And you should only be in it for percentage gains. Okay, that's how you make money, right? So this is what we've been experiencing since that same date. May 31st, 2021 to here, we've been experiencing kind of this sideways action. Not really like this. This is like really big here. I called it right here. And I'll show you proof of that. I called it right here, but I want this. This is okay. And I've been making money, and you guys have been seeing some of our calls. Like we have like a 40x on Gala. You guys have been seeing some of our calls. I've been making a lot of money in the sideways action here. I mean, I could show you, right? So if we look at CoinMarketCap, I mean, this is in the same period of time. I just pulled up the historical snapshot. You can see we're, 100% gains, 98% gains. I mean, some people would consider this basically, life-changing wealth, right? Some people would consider these gains ridiculous. If you come from traditional finance, this is outstanding. This is like the best thing ever, right? But this is not everything for me. And I'm going to show you the difference of what altcoin season could really look like. And this is basically what happened in the past couple of months, right? This doesn't excite me, okay? I'm going to be honest. This doesn't excite me. I'm going to show you what excites me. But first, let me make the case even deeper. For the altcoin cycle that's about to happen in front of your eyes. Before I even talk about the coins, guys, I'm trying to teach you how to fish. I want you to learn something. This is more important than the coins themselves, okay? And I will talk about all the coins towards the end of the video. I want to talk about like a super conservative opportunity all the way down to like a market cap less than 50 million, super high risk. You can like 50 extra money type of potential. So I'm going to give you the whole risk portfolio. Okay, I'm going to show you from top to bottom towards the end of the video, but let me just really quickly, because this is super important, make the case for altcoins. So if you can see here, this is basically major crypto assets by percentage of total market capitalization. So this is Bitcoin dominance. And I made the claim like right over here. I was like, hey guys, we're never going to see Bitcoin hit 50% dominance ever again. So Bitcoin would never have 50%, and I've been right since. And you can see here, just look at the chart. This is coming down and this is coming up. They look like they're going to meet, similar to what we saw over here, right? Coming down. Now that was way more aggressive, don't get me wrong. And that's actually where I originally bought Ethereum, like over here. But look at that. Like all altcoins are eating up Bitcoin dominance. We're never going to go back to a 50% Bitcoin dominance ever again. I really do firmly believe that. But let me just add to that. And this is kind of like the flow of money. So what I'm going to be talking about towards the end of the video is coins that are large, mid, and low. So you can kind of see the flow of money. But usually what we do is when the large cap pops, and we saw that in recent history as well, we'll take profits and cycle them into the mid caps. Then the mid caps start doing well. And then we'll take profits, cycle them to the low caps. Sometimes we buy all of them, but I just want to show you examples of the money flow. And this is more important, not because of the specific nature of the picture. This is more important because, this shows that people are already thinking about what I'm saying right now, right? People are always, anticipating the altcoin season. And as you can see here, that there's multiple people trying to justify it. This is from other websites. So the narrative of what I'm saying of people believing that this altcoin season is going to happen is confirmed by me just showing you, that they all believe the same thing. Like everybody's investing the same way. And as you can see here from Rect Capital, they have this little chart that went viral the last time I talked about it. And it's coming up again. Look at the top of the hype cycle. Look, highest hype is going to happen in January. Look at the dates. We're in December. This is the time to start buying some cryptos, not after the hype, guys. How many times do I have to tell you that? But look, we're going to see this hype probably happen during January. So pay attention to what's going on. And just to back that up a little bit more, if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, we're seeing an asymmetrical triangle continuation pattern. Again, this should break out A, B, C, D. This should break out to the downside. And again, like I said, making the case right here. I even said it here. I was like, we're never going to see 50%, which is right around here, Bitcoin dominance ever again. Bitcoin's narrative is losing to the narrative of utility. And I'll break this down in a little bit more detail for you guys. You guys know I'm providing the best education in the market. And just to add to it, what we talked about before, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, this breaking out here is really big. And just to add to what we were talking about before, I do want to elaborate on it. The DXY, or the US dollar currency index, when we took this kind of bounce right here, May 31st, we swing that all the way back to over here with the ETH BTC chart. Bitcoin was like 42% up in the same period of time. Ethereum did 30% better in the same period of time. So if you would have held Ethereum through this whole little event with the US currency dollar index, you would have actually made more money. Which is adding again to my case with the altcoin season. So I think it's happening. I also think I'm calling it way before everybody else, which is like originally how I got popular. So I'm going to show you proof of that. And then I'm also going to show you what the potential altcoin season is going to really look like. So as you can see here, April 6th, I'm calling it right here. You can clearly see top 5 altcoins with unimaginable potential in April, May. I'm literally saying, hey, we're going to probably skyrocket up right here, April 6th, 2021. It got a lot of views, 294,000 views, and it happened. Let me bring that up again and show you. That was right here. I was calling it right here. And we have a 51% increase on the top 100 altcoins versus Bitcoin dominance. And I want to show you right now how significant that is. Don't underestimate it. I'm going to show you. All right. So if we look at this big jump here, this real jump, not the sideways action. If we look at this big jump here, you can see that the altcoins are doing much better than what we saw before. Look, 200% gains, 125% gains, 94% gains. Look at this, 759% gains. This is what altcoin season needs to look like. I need to have this happen again. And I think it's going to happen. 500% gains, 498% on MCO. This is ridiculous in 7 days. You thought I was lying when I told you life-changing wealth. This is life-changing wealth, okay? If you guys want to, make 100% or 50%, go buy Bitcoin. Go listen to Michael Saylor and him, talk about how nature is intertwined in Bitcoin. Yeah, you're a billionaire. Bitcoin is the only thing you have liquidity for. When you invest $500 million, Bitcoin is the only thing that doesn't cause the market to pump while you buy it. Like, it's the only thing with liquidity to match your investment style, Michael Saylor. But what about the people with less than 10K in their bank account? What about the people with only $20,000? If you put $1,000 into this project, that's enough liquidity for you. Some of these that we're going to be talking about in this video have less than like a $50 million market cap, okay? And these will give you, as you can see here, 281%. If you want to be a dinosaur, keep buying Bitcoin. I sold all my Bitcoin. You guys know this. 212%. Look at this altcoin season, 329.95. I get it, Michael Saylor. You want to promote Bitcoin for your exit liquidity. I understand, but this is what you really should be looking for. These massive gains will set you apart. Look, 1,053%, 671%, 565%. This is what I want, okay? That's what I want, not this sideways action that's been recently happening. I don't want to be a dinosaur and hold Bitcoin. So let me prove to you that we are still very early. I want to just do a quick recap. Guys, you should be taking notes. You should be looking at how I think about the process because it can potentially make you a lot of money. We looked at Bitcoin from a macro perspective. Then we looked at Bitcoin from a crypto specific perspective. I made the case for an altcoin season. Now, I showed you what altcoins looked like in the previous history, and I also showed you what it looked like in this big jump in April that happened that we called on the YouTube channel. And I'm telling you that it's probably going to happen again. If we look at this tweet here, basically Willy Woo was looking at one of these SEC chair Gary Gensler meetings, and basically he said this that really hit home for me. And I know a lot of people are kind of like, they're just passing this up. They don't really realize what's happening. But he said 16.6% of the US population has crossed the chasm. So the United States has crossed the chasm. And this is specifically in the country with the world reserve currency. So I want you to think about that. And basically what the chasm is, as you can see here, this is like a, kind of chart showing is right at this point right here where we have the early majority start to jump in. So I'm making a case that we're around here. we're around here, okay? And if we keep looking, well, if we're around there, then we look at the mass media hype begins. This is like around where it's happening. We're like at this point, and let me kind of prove that to you that we still have some room in that. Right here shows the search history of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shiba Inu, and Dogecoin. And you can see we didn't even get back to all-time high for Bitcoin's price, right? We do have a lot more search interest in different altcoins, which is adding to what I was saying. People are more interested in the secondary narrative, not the Bitcoin narrative, but people are definitely more interested in the altcoin narrative, right? The utility. Altcoins could do so many different things, and it's clearly showing it, but it's also clearly showing that we have not reached the mass media hype just yet. We might reach it soon, but this will add to the altcoin narrative being more prevalent and altcoin cycle continuing. And I'm not going to pull up the chart, but if you look at active addresses on Bitcoin versus Ethereum, that exact May 31st date is when Ethereum started outcompeting Bitcoin by active addresses. So this is also adding to my argument. Okay, I want to back up this with as much evidence as possible because I'm going to be making some altcoin buys. It's not really about the altcoins a lot. It's more about like what's happening in the market and the cycles. This is why I created the cycle trading strategy that we use in Fundamental Secrets. If you want to get access to coaching, link will be in the description below, but let's move on. So now that we kind of confirm that altcoin season is most likely going to happen, we have a good chance of it happening. Let's kind of talk about which specific ecosystems. Look how detailed I'm getting, right? This is how you should be investing. Are you a professional or are you like just playing around and buying coins because YouTubers told you to do that? Like, no, like I hope you're treating it as detailed as I am right now. It's all about the 0.001%. Okay. It's not about, just being good. It's about being great. That's how you make millions. And I want to show you, make the case for what specific altcoins, what are the categories of altcoins? That's how detailed we're getting here. And I want to look at this kind of like top websites by finance category because it shows kind of what people are viewing. And I want you to pay attention. CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko are in the top 10. These are two cryptocurrency websites. This is all financial websites on planet Earth. So that's one point to make, is that cryptocurrency websites are the most popular on planet Earth, which is crazy when it comes to finance. But the second point to make is that what they are doing is probably really important, right? Let's look at the websites, okay? What are they doing? How are they organizing the data? Remember, they're getting all of this search history. They have a strategic advantage they kind of see in the future because they're looking at what people are searching, okay? People are going to their website. They have a whole database of metrics, not only in the price of the cryptocurrency assets, but they also have data on human psychology and crypto. This is huge. Follow big data, okay? Follow big data. Don't follow, your Excel spreadsheet you made in a half an hour, okay? Follow big data. What are they doing? And you can see here on CoinGecko that they're organizing into categories like Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain. And if we look in the last 7 days, you can see that clearly layer ones are getting the most adoption, not gaming coins from Alex Becker, not, NFTs, okay? The things that are getting the most percentage gains right now are layer ones. I'm just going to be clear. Okay. Now there's a couple of other micro trends. You can call gaming a micro trend. That's true. But the biggest gains would have been Avalanche in the past 7 days. And I can say the same thing about Solana and some other layer one. It's all layer ones. These are all layer ones. Every single one of them. Cosmos, Olympus Pro, Polygon. That's a layer 2. Binance Smart Chain, layer 1. Avalanche, layer 1. Okay. Not only that, but if we look at CoinMarketCap, look at the top here, right? Look at the categories. Look at what they're showing most prominent. They want users to stay on the platform. So they're going to show, what users search. And you can see DeFi, NFTs, Metaverse, Polkadot, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Avalanche. These three are layer ones. Metaverse, NFT, DeFi are kind of like gaming. So you could see what direction I'm going. If you want high risk, you're probably going to go to the gaming world. If you want low risk, steady gains that outcompete Ethereum, that do better than Ethereum gains and does way better than Bitcoin, then you're going to go to layer 1, right? So you can see how I'm kind of justifying it. Now, I do want to jump into this topic very briefly so people really understand that there's two huge narratives that you have to pay attention to. And as you can see here, this is a visual representation of transactions on the blockchain. And you can see Bitcoin's pretty backed up, but look how backed up Ethereum is. And Ethereum is supposed to be faster, so it's clearly showing people are using ETH way more. and it's still really inefficient. So I just want to show you a visual representation, and I also want to show you another visual representation. There's kind of two guesstimates that a lot of people make. I said guesstimates. There's like two, definitely like kind of narrative situations that people think cryptocurrency is going to go to. The first one is that we're going to have kind of like this interoperable multiverse of layer ones, layer twos, layer zeros, and they're all kind of intertwined and working together. So layer ones could be like Ethereum, Avalanche, Solana, whatever. And then the layer twos will stack on top of them, like Polygon, Immutable X. A lot of these layer twos we've been seeing, ZK Snark, all these things, these layer twos, we're going to work together. But the second most important one is the two narratives, which is the utility and the money narrative, that you have to separate, right? People buy Bitcoin because it's a hedge against monetary inflation and they want to preserve their money. And people buy Ethereum because they can use Ethereum and play around with it, right? These are two separate things that are kind of fighting each other. And I showed you guys that in the chart, but I do want to elaborate a little bit. And like I said, people will copy me. I do this all the time. People start copying me. So I had to put like the watermark in the background. But as you can see, money, utility are two separate. If we come down here, you can see that we're going to kind of like a store value, and people typically go into gold, but we saw gold in recent history. Gold's down like 7%, Bitcoin's up 40. So people are clearly moving to, Bitcoin. Now, if we come over here, you can see that there's also another form of money, which is fiat, which is basically a government-backed currency, okay? Which right now, Bitcoin's kind of eating alive, but they could come out with some stable coins, okay? So we have stable coins that could potentially happen. This migrates into DeFi, and DeFi migrates into all financial markets and all financial tools. Now, if we look at utility, there's just so much more room for growth. And this adds to my opinion of expanding cycles. People are like, oh, Bitcoin's supposed to end because it's 4-year cycles and the 4 years are up, or whatever the case is. And I think that being that there's so much more utility, being that there's so much more money involved, the law of diminishing returns says that cycles should, be longer, as well as just this right here, tangible evidence. We have layer ones. I didn't put layer zeros up here because it's a pretty detailed topic, but we have layer ones, we have DeFi, we have layer twos, NFTs, Web3, gaming, art, basically every website on planet Earth. Money's big, but all value transfer on Earth can be captured with utility. Okay, money is a big thing. Like gold is huge, a $10 trillion market cap. But you're going up against all financial markets and all transfers of value ever. That's like a million times magnitude bigger than a form of money. Okay, which is adding again to my case of, altcoins probably being the thing that's happening in the next couple of years. Bitcoin's not going to hit 50% dominance ever again. Bitcoin maxis are the minority. This is not a thing anymore. It was a thing like a couple years ago. I was kind of a Bitcoin maxi a while ago, but not anymore. Utility is definitely happening. It's probably, Ethereum, I can't give you a date, but Ethereum is going to pass Bitcoin eventually at this growth trajectory. All right. So before we talk about the altcoins, because it's happening very soon, I told you, all of this research is the most important part. But before we talk about altcoins, I have to go over the risk management strategy. Please, if you're a new person in crypto, take what I'm saying serious, because you can get wrecked and lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. And this is not financial advice, and you should never buy after I call a coin on YouTube. But I know people are stupid enough to do it, so I have to at least educate you on what you should be doing if it goes south, okay? Now, the first things first, the way it works is that most coins will probably lose in the altcoin market, okay? Because there's just too much opportunity. There's like 70,000 different cryptos. So the point is that you want to put yourself in an asymmetrical market, meaning high upside, low downside. So if you put $100 into something, you can only lose 100, but the upside is that of 10x, which is $1,000. What happens is a lot of times you'll lose more than you win, but the wins will make up a lot more for the losses. Okay, so you got to really make sure that the wins, you extend them and you milk them for as much profit as possible. Also, you could dollar cost average out of the coins when they go up. And I think it's really important to understand the dollar cost average strategy when you're going in as well. So a lot of times I'll buy into a coin, it'll drop, okay? And people just wait for it to come back. No, you have to keep aggressively buying. So if you're buying any of the altcoins that we're talking about in this video, or you're buying for yourself, you should definitely have a small bag or a micro and macro portfolio structure and have cash on the side or a cash flow mechanism to buy the dip. If you don't, you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable situation, because like I said, these are very high risk altcoins and they're basically extremely volatile, and your emotions, it's kind of like you're trying to protect your decision-making process. If you put your whole net worth into an altcoin and it drops 40%, you're going to have a bad day and you're probably going to make a bad decision. dollar cost averaging allows you to accumulate the cheaper coins. So when the price goes up, you make money on that last buy, and you can break even on, the one that you lost on, or whatever the case is. And you keep kind of buying as you go down. This just shows an example. I can briefly go into it. So basically, if I bet $1 on a 50-50 gamble, and I win, I get +1. So now I have +$1. Now, if I bet again and I lose, but I double it and I bet $2, so I'm down $1. I bet $2, now I'm down $3, and then we win. Now I'm up $4. I just added another dollar to my bag. So now this is net $2. Okay. And if we keep going, same thing. We bet again. I lost 1. I doubled up, lost 3. Then I doubled up again, lost 7. Right. And then I bet, doubled up again. I won and I made 8. So that's another +1. I lost 7, made 8. And the point is, if you keep doing this accurately, it's good risk management. And as long as you do it with conviction, it kind of helps you even out the volatility of the market, where you can kind of consistently get these gains. And this is obviously, taking into consideration that we think that Bitcoin's going to 100K and that we're still in the bull market. If this was a bear market, you don't want a dollar cost average all the way down to 0. You want to wait longer periods of time before you buy. But you got to understand the strategy a little bit, at least. I mean, I've made complete videos about this. I'll leave it in the pinned comment below. It's the only Bitcoin millionaire strategy in 2022. So you can click that, watch the full detailed breakdown. I dive into it really detailed. But basically the gist is right here, literal formula to a 6 and 7. I mean, it says 6, but I have 8-figure people that use this. Asymmetrical environment. So cryptocurrency as a whole is asymmetrical. Okay. Like we talked about before, using good risk management and fundamental analysis. I have a fundamental analysis system where I dive into extreme detail on like 150 different points of, FA. This is qualitative elements. So this is like, how good is the team compared to this team, right? Not quantitative, but I had some, TA experts, and learning technical analysis was a very big thing for myself, and you should definitely learn it as well. But if we come down here, you can see how crazy I'm getting, because look, we have sectors within crypto, and then we have individual use case solving specific problems within the sector, or massive innovations, right? So we're diving down to a micro level to where this is this right here. And we're going into individual projects that solve individual specific use cases within a specific ecosystem. So you can see that how detailed I'm getting, and using good risk management. Like I said, maybe buying a little bit of baby market caps, buying a little bit of medium, buying a little bit of large will go a long way. Definitely. And you want to diversify more when it comes to buying baby market caps, and also put far less money into baby market caps, please. Because like I said, they can go to 0. It's as simple as that. They can go to 0. So pay attention. And then, like I said, most of them will lose in the baby market caps, but the one gain will go, a lot higher. And it's just a visual representation of what, the good risk management looks like, right? So in general, if you use these, together, you'll have a pretty good strategy. And I feel comfortable with telling you about the altcoins, seriously, because I know a lot of people get wrecked. So let's jump into altcoin number 1. So altcoin number 1, not surprisingly, is Cardano. Now, the reason why it's Cardano is and I'm not going to extreme detail into altcoins, just to be clear. I have made full videos about some of them, so you can look at my channel for others, or in the future, I'll make full videos about them where you can dive specifically into the altcoin. This video is already long. It'll be way too long if I dive deep into the altcoins. I wanted to really show you guys altcoin season in this video, but if you come over here, Cardano has a specific, I guess you could say, reason why I think it's going to do well. Number 1, they have a great leader that was one of the co-founders of Ethereum. And specifically about this leader is that he can captivate people. He does these AMAs like almost every day. And he's one of the best, in my personal opinion, when it comes to projects and leaders that take marketing very serious and talking to their community. And I think this is a very big catalyst, and probably one of the reasons why, as you can see, the ownership, they have a very decentralized ownership. You can see that it's mostly retail volume. So it's not a lot of whales that can like super dump the market. And this is one of the most decentralized by ownership projects I've ever seen. Really, really big. Not only that, but they're coming out with smart contracts in Q1 of 2022. It's very soon. And just the hype that, we've seen multiple times, this is going to be big. And I think a lot of people are going to flock into Cardano, and they have a different way of doing it that nobody else is doing, which is the extended UTXO model that has specific features that Ethereum would not be able to pull off, that are strategic advantages. This is not a video to go into all of that. You should definitely look into it for yourself. But look into the extended UTXO model. It's definitely better than what Ethereum's using on the accounting-based model. They're using an accounting-based model that has really bad disadvantages. Yeah, so if they could pull this off, they're doing it different from everybody else, different from all of the other layer ones, and it does have benefits that the other layer ones do not have. It's just a question if they can pull it off, and they're one of the biggest developer communities, and they've been updating a lot of people. You can see it with the decentralized exchanges like Sunday Swap and stuff like that. So I do think eventually, even if it's just a hype, even if they don't come out with smart contracts, just a hype will do something like this. And my goal here is to basically outcompete Ethereum, especially when you're thinking of like safer investments. Like, we're going to get into the nitty gritty. I promise. There's some super high risk altcoins towards the end of this video that we're going to be talking about that can give you like those 20, 50 X's. But when you're thinking about putting large sums of capital, similar to Michael Saylor with his millions of dollars into Bitcoin only, like I could put $250,000 into Cardano because it's liquid, right? It's very liquid. And this specifically right here, it might actually outcompete Ethereum. So you can see that this chart is ADA versus ETH. In recent history, ETH has been destroying Cardano by percentage gains. So you would have been much better off holding ETH, which I have been. I have like a small percentage of ADA, but I do expect to get this bounce right here at this support. Look at this. This has a long history of support around this liquidity level. And if we get the same kind of trajectory we've been getting for the past couple, months or so, you could see that around January, which is aligning with our date of Q1, we're going to get some hype around Cardano and smart contracts. Okay. I haven't gone all in yet, but I would not mind spending 200K of my ETH, getting rid of all of my ETH, not all of it, but a large percentage of it right around here. So again, do me a favor, like the video, leave a comment for showing you guys like way ahead of time, but let me show you. Let me just pull up the actual brush. So like literally right around here is Q1. So we'll probably get Ethereum beating it for the next couple months or so, but eventually we will get that bounce, and it might happen sooner than I think. Okay. I can't time things perfectly, but it might be even sooner than I think. So once I start seeing that bounce and that reversal on this trend, I'm going pretty heavy into Cardano. I'm going to drop a lot of Ethereum into Cardano. And for the specific reason is I want to outcompete Ethereum, just the same way Bitcoin's being outcompeted by ETH. I want to outcompete Ethereum, and it's safe. It's a top 5 cryptocurrency. It's not going to dump to zero. It has the most decentralized community, like we said. It has the specific isolated use case, which is the extended UTXO model. And technically Bitcoin uses the UTXO model. So it has like security advantages, so many different advantages. It's not a video for that, but it's very interesting. And then also, again, if you look at ADA, it's 117% down from its all-time high. So this is the time to buy, or not specifically now, but when I see this reversal, I will jump into ADA. When I see the hype start to pick up for ADA, I'm jumping in. That's the first altcoin, and that's probably the safest out of the ones we're going to be talking about today. The second batch, again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it fits right into our thesis. These are layer ones, okay? So the first one, you guys know I've been talking about it for a while, Phantom. Phantom has a specific liquidity incentive program that I think is superior to a lot of other incentive programs we've seen. It allows for stickiness. And what that basically means is that they pay developers to come on our platform, and then they give them levels to actually not just come on the platform, but actually create a whole entire community on the platform. And the bigger the community gets by TVL, the more money they make. So all other incentive liquidity programs, they just pay the developers to launch a contract. Phantom pays them as they progress in the levels, and it's large amounts of money. It's more than anybody else is offering. So it's sticky, right? It's allowing the developers to stay and actually develop ecosystems on Phantom. Not only that, but they have a really, really good leader, Andre Cornier. This guy is basically the godfather of DeFi. They call him the father of DeFi. He created Yearn Finance. He really pushed DeFi into this revolutionary state of these crazy protocols that happen now, like these big, crazy financial applications. He was kind of like the guy that started it, and he's full on into Phantom, promoting it like crazy, and a lot of other developers are following him. So I think it's really interesting. They have their own version of the trilemma solution that's currently working. faster transaction speeds, way faster than Ethereum, way cheaper than Ethereum. So they have been pulling it off and they have no issues. So I think Phantom's a big one that people are sleeping on right now. Second one, Harmony One. As you can see, the market cap's really small, only 2 billion. I mean, if we look at Phantom's market cap, we're looking at 4 billion. So this is a little bit more asymmetrical. And it's basically for the same reasons, okay? Not the liquidity incentive program, but simply for the fact that they have a whole flourishing ecosystem. They've been out for a couple of years. And layer ones are getting adopted rapidly. People are looking for the next, utility use case, right? Ethereum's slow, right? There's gonna be another micro narrative that comes out. It was probably already out, which is like, oh, we need to find a project that actually works, right? And Harmony One can be one of those, and it's ranked number 71, so I think it's relatively safe. Cross-chain interoperability, they're connecting to multiple chains, which adds to what we were talking about before of like kind of this whole, interoperable metaverse where layer ones and layer twos are working with each other, and I think they're a huge contender. They have a pretty big community, 287K, and like I said, I think they're very asymmetrical. Another one, I've been talking about it for a while. Unfortunately, they don't actually have a product out yet, but they will come out eventually, and this is the reason why I've been aggressively buying. And they also potentially might get launched on Coinbase because of the Coinbase custody thing that's happening. They're actually on Coinbase custody, so that's kind of a sign that when they actually get like real utility or whatever the case is, or they go through the regulation, that they might get launched on Coinbase. And if you guys look at the Coinbase effect, pretty much most coins pump after being launched on Coinbase, or at least the anticipation, at least like the announcement or the anticipation of being launched. These coins really pump, and I think it could still happen. They have their own version of the trilemma solution, and I think the hype of when it comes out, it's going to be big, and they're set to launch Q1 of 2022 as well, and I've been DCAing pretty aggressive. If we go into the next coin, which is Kadena, and this is for the same use case, notice, these are like the layer ones. It's like medium risk here, and look at the market caps of all of them, right? Same thing. And this is actually more from my coach. They have their specific way of solving the trilemma. We got a layer one here. It's been pumping a lot. The market cap is down to 1.7 billion. So it's a little bit even more undervalued than Harmony One. And like I said, guys, if we kind of just bring up, the ecosystem, these layer ones were getting the most adoption. So finding the best one that's going to get the best percentages is a big win. So pay attention to those. Now, if we go a little bit more risky, okay, now we're going into the higher risk. I would say medium to high risk. Let's jump into some actual gaming metaverse type tokens. So the first one is Gala. Now their team is outstanding. I made a whole video on this, so I'm not going to dive into it deep. But as you can see, their market cap is 3.4 billion. So it's even less risky than some of the layer ones we were talking about. And they have like their credibility is ridiculous. They have the biggest gaming experts. They have multiple games that they're creating, like 7 different games. They're on Polygon, so they have a layer 2 scaling solution. The creator of Farmville, or one of the creators of Farmville, is actually on the team. So like they have experience in Facebook. They're outstanding. They have the layer 2 scaling, and I think they're undervalued in comparison to like Axie Infinity, that's not even on a layer 2 and has so many issues. And I think a lot of these projects learn from Axie Infinity, and they're making better versions of it. Definitely, as you can see here, we have Townstar and other games. You guys could look into my other Gala Games videos. Those typically, I dive deeper into the altcoins for sure. If we come over here, here's another metaverse type token is UFO Gaming. I've been aggressively buying it. This is a higher risk. We have a $646 million market cap. And UFO Gaming has been performing pretty well. I bought like close to down here. I've done like a 7x, and I've been DCAing. We're pretty far down from its all-time high, and I think the metaverse kind of trend is continuing, and this is one of the biggest coins in the metaverse right now. They have virtual land. As you can see, they kind of have like this experience that they're coming out with, and when they come out with their project, which I don't believe they have yet, when they actually come out with it, we're going to get a lot of the hype. When these games come out, people are going to flock into these games. But yeah, you guys can look into it a little bit more. I've been dollar cost averaging into UFO pretty aggressive. I made a lot of money off UFO. Another one that's probably a little bit safer is Sandbox. I made a full video on this as well. You can go check it out on the channel. The Sandbox is $5 billion. They have, the scalability as well. And they're doing something very similar to Axie Infinity. They have huge backers from Coinbase. The biggest institutions in the industry are selling land, like CoinMarketCap, sold some land on Sandbox. I mean, their cheapest land is like 15K. So they're definitely, project to stay. And I do think the market cap will continue to grow in the future, as the metaverse industry grows. And I think it's a safer bet too in the gaming industry as well. So this definitely has to make it to the top 10. Another one, ILLUVIUM, they haven't come out with a project yet, but I actually just did an interview with one of the co-founders. So I got some specific insight. They got some land sales coming out very soon. I can't really drop the date. I don't think he wants me to say the date, but it's very soon. It's going to be this month. And I know I can say that because he says it all the time. So they have the land sale hype as well as the private beta, public beta, and their strategic advantage is that they're giving all of the revenue, 100% of all the revenue, including the land sales, back to its stakers. So they don't get anything. It's completely decentralized. They have a DAO, and they claim, and I believe it, the best graphics out of any game in the world, not just crypto, any game in the world. A lot of gamers specifically talk about this coin, not really cryptocurrency investors, which is what you want to get with a gaming coin, because you don't want it to feel like it's a cryptocurrency investment, because it's very like, that's how you get the mass media when they don't feel like it's cryptocurrency. That's how the mass media gets in. They have the best graphics. So pay attention to ILLUVIUM. And I did an interview on that, so you can check that out as well. Just watch the trailer. You'll get what I'm saying. They claim to have the best graphics ever. It's basically like a Pokemon mixed with team fight tactics from League of Legends. And they're trying to go mainstream, guys. I was looking at the search term on YouTube, and basically the only people that talk about it are people that are just in the gaming industry. Like I said, people originally go to this project because of the game and not because it has a blockchain on it. And the fact that it's completely decentralized, open, this is a big one for me. I'm definitely buying this pretty aggressive. I already have a bag. I bought it a couple months ago, and I do expect it to continue to rise, especially that its market cap is relatively low. We only have an 840 million, so it'll probably be a $5 billion market cap. I will not be surprised. And they have, again, like I said, land sale, metaverse. They have the game. They have public beta, private betas that are coming out. There's a lot of hype for ILLUVIUM. So let's jump into the last high risk altcoins. Like I promised you guys, these are going to be a little bit of metaverse, a little bit of DeFi. So Monaville, I invested a small amount, very small amount, guys. Look at the market cap. Okay. Market cap's only 12 million. This thing is crazy risky. So pay attention to what I'm saying here. Don't put your whole net worth into Monaville. Don't put anything you're not willing to lose. I put less than a half a percentage. Like I put like 0.002% or something like that into Monaville. So be careful how you invest. Okay. But basically, they're doing the whole metaverse thing, but they're doing it with NFTs, and they're doing it kind of with fashion. They're taking over the fashion industry, which I think is going to be big, especially when people are jumping in land. They're jumping on the land like Sandbox and these different metaverses, and you can kind of wear like a skin, something specific. So they're building like the infrastructure to kind of like the fashion world, the integration. And I think it's very undervalued. It kind of fits into what I was saying with the metaverse gaming trend. And it's only a $10 million market cap. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing pumps pretty aggressive. And I do plan on making a full video on it soon. I haven't made a full video, but I did call it. And I made a lot of money off of it. Another one is Selframe. And this actually came from one of my coaches. So I haven't researched it extremely deep. I haven't invested in it myself, but he has been ranting on about it in Fundamental Secrets. So I had to talk about it. Basically, this is allowing other blockchains to get, this quantum resistance. So there's obviously a big problem in the world when it comes to people making these supercomputers. And technically, if there was a quantum computer, Bitcoin can be hacked. If they could pull that off because of the way it's made. So this quantum resistance is probably going to be something a lot of blockchains adopt. And being that this is such a small market cap, only 36 million, this might be something that you could pay attention to. And their teams, hey, trust me, one of my coaches, they use our system. Their teams are vetted. They're definitely developing. Their project has been vetted pretty deep if he's talking about it. So you can definitely leave a comment below if you want Matt to make a full video on that. Just let me know. And just to throw in a last one there, even I know this is like coin 11, but I do want to talk about it. Umbrella Network. This is basically interoperable Oracle service. Very undervalued right now, 39 million. I've invested in this for a long time. Umbrella Network can be a $1 billion market cap. I really do think that they are superior when it comes to tech. They're building a lot. I've talked about this before. You can watch other videos on the channel, but like I said, they have a lot of infrastructure already. They have a pretty solid team. They're going interoperable, right? So they're actually, making oracles on multiple blockchains, not just like one. So they're very, very active, and I think they're undervalued right now. So pay attention to that. But yeah, you look into it for yourself, guys. These videos should be a place where you start your research, not, make your purchase decision. Okay, please, guys. Go look into these altcoins. Go look at some of my videos. Look at other people's videos. Develop your own system. Invest professionally. Use risk management. All the things I always talk about. When I make these videos, it could be very strong, right? Because I'm making this huge case for altcoins, and people are going to make purchase decisions off of that. So I truly believe, and I am investing with my money, I put my money where my mouth is, that altcoin season is going to happen very soon. Whether we, break out now or we get a small bounce to the downside for altcoins and then break out, it's probably going to happen, okay? And I think it's very likely. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism, subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Hopefully you guys took notes. Hopefully you guys learned something in this video, because that is my only mission. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Catch you in the next one.